a Willie Horton commercial that you bought on television, or a billboard that you put on the side of a school. I think now the political ad could be a provocative tweet. It could be a Facebook-only video. It could be a Snapchat thing. It could even be a live, an AMA on Reddit. Right? The landscape has changed, and the mechanisms have changed, and the platforms have radically transformed. So that, I think, the whole nature of it has changed, and it's forcing a whole different content and creative discipline on politicians.
Yeah, now we had a great panel. I mean, we had somebody who had done a ton of digital work on the Bernie Sanders campaign, a lot of political professionals. I mean, what was your takeaway from some of the political professionals and what they're seeing now of these campaigns here in 2016?
Well, it's funny, they sounded like they disagreed, but from my point of view, they very much agree, in the sense that you need to be cognizant of who you're trying to reach with your ads. Like, the ad has been deconstructed, right? So the audience is deconstructed. So you need to understand, I'm going after millennials with this, I'm going after certain interest groups with this, I'm going after certain ethnic groups with this. And you need to tailor that, and not only tailor the content, but to tailor the platform where you do it. For instance, if they wanted to get my mother out, my 92-year-old mother in Florida, out to move that swing state, Snapchat wouldn't be the place, strangely. You might get her on Facebook,
yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to, you need to galvanize certain spots, and I think the precision marketing part of it is really interesting.
Yeah, and one of the places where we had some, what I will call stark agreement, if there is such a thing, I mean, the whole panel seemed to react when we started talking about the economics of the media model, right? So social media is incredibly important. Media companies are putting all of their content out on social networks. Political content was what we're talking about. But then the ads are purchased directly from the social networks and not from the media companies. Right. What was your takeaway? Any findings or thoughts there?
Well, my takeaway is that I may have to learn to get by on 55% of what my revenue used to be, right? Because all these platforms are going to have a revenue split on what they sell. You'll sell cash cow you could count on every 4 years has dramatically changed. So you have to understand, okay, I'm going to have to do exponentially more copy or cut costs to a certain level and develop a more efficient model. So that whole efficiency is being put on us as the onus on the advertiser is to do even more.
Right.
Like now I have to deal with a new efficiency in how I program around things and how I program content around things. And that's the hard part. I mean, that's the secret sauce. I don't think anyone's figured it out. The startups can say they figured it out, but they're still living off their venture capital money. And these legacy media companies can say they figured it out with small successes, but they're still living off their traditional subscription money.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Until we get to that point where that media bottom kind of reformulates, we won't know. But I do think that it is a question. If Trump wins, I made one remark that somebody I spoke to in the media industry said, if Trump wins, short the media companies, right? And I think even if he comes close, it's established a new model for either high-profile individuals to get into politics, or the Bernie Sanders model of someone who's profile, not usually high-profile, to build a grassroots movement that leads into something, to get all that, to get a lot of growth without spending a lot of money in the beginning to test out your theories on your candidacy. You're not going to see somebody come in with a ton of money and flame out very quickly because they can test.
Yeah.
They can A/B test their candidacy in a way, right?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And one of the panelists who was really more on the buy side, I mean, he helped run political campaigns, and he's sort of a media buyer. I mean, it was real clear he didn't want to be viewed as sort of a charity, the person to make the charity case. He's going to give his money to whoever gives him the best results, not to you because he likes you, right? And
right.
So, and to your point, I mean, people who are spending media dollars are under great pressure to deliver results, just like the media companies are under great pressure as well. And so, figuring out the connection point there is going to be real critical.
And do you, as a media company, do you try to change your audience? If the great like social media spend is going to go into the millennials, let's say, how much does a New York Times, a Reuters, a Dow Jones, an FT think they should skew to get that scale, right? There was a great story a few days ago on how Slate, I think, reconfigured to focus on its loyal audience and not worry so much about the pass-through traffic from social. Like that's the economic and editorial decision we're going to be faced with at every turn in this evolution, right?
Yeah, and maybe that's a good point to land on. I mean, it's maybe not so different from the past. You have to decide what audience you're trying to serve and what message they want, and the better you can do that, the more consistent you can be.
Right, what are you covering to get them involved?
Yeah, exactly. Great. Well, thanks so much, Dan, for joining us here on our live episode today. Thanks for having us on the panel and hosting the panel. And so again, I'm Jim Anderson, Social Flow CEO. Thanks for joining us today.